My assessment for the Alabama project was originally a research paper on legal architecture. I did a comparison between the United States Supreme Court and the Australian High Court, basically looking at how different architectural features can legitimize judicial ideology and the role of the judiciary in society. For example, looking at the location of the courts, the US Supreme Court is located in basically a city grid instead of being at the end of an avenue or a really long path. So that sort of places the emphasis and the symbology on equality and leveling the playing field, as opposed to the US Congress building, which is at the end of this big avenue, and it's meant to be very grand and kind of imposing. And the High Court, by contrast, is located down by the lake, obviously, and it's below Parliament, and it's right in the middle between Kings Avenue and Constitution Avenue, kind of symbolising the fact that the High Court has this role in being the mediator between the two. The reason I sort of became interested in this topic in the first place is because, well, one, I wanted to do something outside of my wheelhouse a little bit, and two, I think that I'd run across a couple of texts that talked about how law as an industry, as a profession, as a field of work, academic work, is very written in its, it has an emphasis on written communication, and how sometimes other forms of communication, non-verbal, visual, architectural, don't really get, their influence on the law and their interaction with the law doesn't get analysed or paid as much attention as it perhaps should. So there's a growing field of socio-legal studies that looks at the influence of architecture on legal processes. It's because it's basically challenging the assumption that if you have a case litigated in one court, it'll be exactly the same outcome as that same case litigated in another. But that's not how it happens, obviously, because our physical environment does impact us in really small and sometimes pervasive and subtle ways. So that was my motivation for looking into that project.